Alright, it is December 1st. I'm going to go ahead and start doing monthly updates unless something, amazing happens. This thing is pretty much on cruise control except for the standard, looking for bugs. Fish are getting bigger, they're still eating. It was still over 80 degrees every day this past week, and so temperature-wise, we're looking really good. Be hard to tell. Let's see. But you can see it's right there. The red is to the top of the green, which is right at 80 degrees. We're having about an 8-degree drop in temperature overnight. But the fish are still eating very actively. And the water chemicals are looking really good. We are starting to get into that lower range of the pH for the plants. This is going to be great, but if it starts getting any lower, I'll have to bump it up with something natural, which is like eggshell or whatever is easy enough to do. But that's looking great. So I'm not even doing anything to the top-off water except for running it during the day and boiling off chlorine. This is ammonia, and the ammonia is just barely registering between that, the 0.25 and 5 now. I have found that that's looking great, really, because with the water temperature, we're not anywhere near endangering the fish with that level. And at the same time, the nitrite level is still really low, so that means that the nitrosomonas are doing their job and converting all of this ammonia. So what that ends up meaning is we have tons of nitrate. We're up in the 80 range there. So the plants are cranking. Everything looks real good. There's not the cabbage loopers are a pain in the butt because it's been so warm. They're still showing up, and you can see the damage that they cause. At night, I come out and try and catch the moths that are flying in. The jalapeno. I had to pull the jalapeno out. No, it was looking great. The chilies were looking great. It's just, it ended up getting what I believe is a certain type of disease, and I'll go ahead and post a link to it because I can't remember the name of it right now. But what it does is it affects the roots, and so the leaves weren't yellowing, but they were wilting. The stem looked great. Everything was looking really, really good, but half of the plant didn't, and I thought it happened during a storm that came through and blew the plants down. And what ended up happening was half of the plant did it, and I thought maybe it was broken below the soil. So I cut that part out. A few days later, the second part of the plant started showing the same symptoms. I read up on it, and it seems to be the problem that I will post it. The big deal about it is that because that fungus or whatever it is, disease that was present where the pepper plant was planted, it has become basically tainted for other pepper plants. So with the soil system, they say not to plant any peppers in that same area for 3 years. I don't know how that will apply to, aquaponics. But again, it has something to do with moisture. The roots, might have just been holding on to too much moisture and helped develop this. So with the cucumber and the jalapeno coming out, the tomato has just taken over everything. It's really hard to even describe how dense. I mean, this video doesn't do it justice. And It was kicking out a lot for a while, but now it's finally kicking out some tomatoes. Now, mind you, this is December 1st. And there's a lot more. I've got to do some more hand pollination on some of these. Oh, there's another one. Right on. Let's see if we can zip into that. Right there's another one coming in. And right there. And then there's this one here, which is, there's my thumb. So it's as fat as my thumb just from that direction. On this other side, it's actually fatter than my thumb is, but tomatoes are coming in. This is a young bed, so I wasn't quite expecting it to be able to do this. There's another one right there. I'll pan this out and then give you a backside shot of that's what it looks like out our window. It's just huge. Now here's what I've learned up to this point with this system. Slightly under the overhang of the roof on the south side of the building in Arizona. This time of year, with the coverage that I have built, the sun in the morning and with the zenith it is at shines only right to here. So I need to lower my bed. So I'm going to be probably doing some reconstruction here over the Christmas break, our fall break at the school, and lowering this bed because this time of year, just lowering it 7 inches will bring all of these plants right here into direct sunlight in the earliest parts of the day through the afternoon and late afternoon, because the zenith, the sun is shining directly on the barrel at this side. I mean, the entire barrel is lit up at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'm getting a lot of, heating of the tank from the sun. And I need to be able to drop, so what I'm going to do is drop the sump tank down another, well, let's see, the blocks underneath it are, move kitty, are the standard 7.5 inches. So I'll drop the blocks underneath that, remove the frame, or rebuild the frame. You know what? I can actually just turn the frame over. That's what I'll do. And then put a couple of 2x4s underneath it to just keep it off of the concrete so that the extra, cold off the concrete doesn't come directly into contact with the sump tank. And that should allow me to drop this entire bed, these 2 blocks right here. And that'll bring this down, let's see, 15 inches. So the top, this is basically 15.5 inches, this frame. So where the top of this sits will actually be down to where the bottom of this is right now. So this entire section of the bed right here will be getting sunlight during the winter. So more work to do. And then when we put the other grow bed in, it will already be lower because the sump tank and the system is lower now. Growing tomatoes in December. Now I think we have had some murders in the tank. I think some of the smallest of the Nile tilapia became victim to the larger blues now that the water temperature has been dropping and they're going probably into breeding mode and have become much more aggressive. I don't know how many I've lost, but I did have one fatality last week. Came out, opened the lid in the morning, and there was a dead one, but he was probably one of the smallest. So this weekend we're really working on trying to get a used tank from somewhere to move the bigger fish out of here and indoors, and then stock heavier outside here. But then, yeah. Let's see. They're actually really getting pretty fat. I am getting some algae, or algae, depending on who wants to hear what. I just need a longer brush. It comes off really easy in this tank. But because the sun is hitting the side, you can actually see the sun does penetrate the sides of this. So once I get the screen frame built around it, that'll cut back on that. There you go. So anyways, I'm basically having to cut back the basil every 3 days. Every 3 days I can take a foot of basil off of at least 3 to 4 arms. Right now it's really needs to be trimmed up. Ugh, I'm leaning back as far. Let's see. Come on. There we go. It is just a beastie plant now. We've got the spinach is coming in, but you can see it's reaching out for the light during the day. So here pretty quick we'll be going on our fall break, and then these guys will be getting some sunlight. So that's the update, and as you can see, it's just, the system really works. It's a good system, and it could only be better as far as the nitrates go. A second bed and more fish, then we'll be really getting some output from these. So that's aquaponics in a barrel. Thanks for watching. Thanks for everybody that's subscribed. Really, anybody have any comments, any likes or anything like that, I really appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy the videos.